All right, guys, how's it going? We have got Susan Cachay here on the YouTube videos. You've probably seen Susan on a few of our videos in the past. We've talked about loads of different aspects of the nutritional balancing program. But this time, Susan's got an amazing announcement. She's basically just set up a practitioner course. She's been working on, as a practitioner for a long time, I think over 10 years. So she really knows her stuff. She was my advanced practitioner, and every question that I had, she always managed to answer it with a lot of information, a lot of knowledge. So I'm going to hand it over to Susan. She's going to speak a little bit about the practitioner course, and afterwards we'll speak a little bit about how important it is to start the program, especially in this climate. So over to you, Susan.
Okay, thanks, Lewis. So yes, my course is up and running and completed. It's a Nutritional Balancing Science practitioner training course. And I've tried to make this course really complete. So it goes into depth into the how to read a hair tissue mineral analysis, how to interpret it, the different stress patterns, and also how to make recommendations from there. So it's very complete. And my goal is to get practitioners to the point where they're independent. Although I still will be offering my support not only through the course, but also for a year or so after, or more if needed, after a person has completed it. So as part of the course training, there's I've made actually quick view materials and in-depth charts. So reading the test results is a lot easier. And your app, Lewis, comes into play there as well, because especially for a newer practitioner, it's really nice to be able to plug in the numbers and have the stress patterns come up for them and have a really detailed interpretation. But the course materials that I've put together and designed also help people sort of identify the different patterns and just what a priority is on a particular hair test. Because when you look at a hair tissue mineral analysis, I mean, there's a lot on there. And sometimes I find that newer practitioners will make the mistake of just giving their clients too much information, and it's overload, especially when people are starting. So I've made an effort with this course to try and teach new practitioners what to focus on and how to relay the results to their clients in a way that the clients can really absorb it and then put that into practice without being overwhelmed. I also have course startup materials for practitioners. So once they've successfully finished the course, and it's a home study course, so everybody's a little bit different in how long it would take them to complete it. There is a time limit. There's a year to complete the course. And I would say most people so far have been, I don't know, about four to 6 months. It's taken them about 4 to 6 months to get through it. If you're super motivated and you're focusing a lot on it every single day, you can certainly get through it more quickly, especially if you have a little bit of background knowledge on the program. So this program is ideal for people that have been on the course, on the program for a while and really want to start delving into the material a little bit more deeply, or they want to start working with people as a practitioner, or for people who already are practitioners in a different area. This makes a really nice add-on. So for massage therapists, for chiropractors, counselors, people that are already working in the healthcare industry and want to add this wonderful modality into their practice. So it helps build their practice, but it also helps their clients as well, because it's such a comprehensive program. But as part of the course, people are given course materials that help them set up their websites, a client handbook for clients. So it's a lot of material that gets people to the point where they can get up and running and set up and working with clients as quickly as possible, and in a really sort of confident, thorough manner. People also do get a completion certificate that allows them to open up an account with Analytical Research Labs, which is the lab that we primarily use. And so they're able to do that and send their tests to ARL directly. And I still help them, I still support them in reviewing their tests, making recommendations. But all the while that I'm working with people, it's really to get people to the point where they're able to do this work more and more independently. There's a lot. It takes time to learn this. So even the course, even though it's very comprehensive and thorough, it's really the starting point. And then of course, after that, when people start working with clients, that's when a lot of the real learning starts. And so I'm there for support as well. So I'm really excited about it. I think it's definitely the best course that I know of that's out there. It's the most thorough, that focuses on sort of a wide range of views and materials. And with the materials that I've actually come up with and designed, it does make it easier for people to get started in this work. And I mean, it's so important today more than ever. I mean, it's always important to look after your health, but just as we were talking about before we started recording, I mean, this is the ideal time where people really need to be focusing on helping the body, helping support the body as an overall system, getting our body terrain as healthy and resilient as possible, right? Which is exactly what this program does.
100%. And is there any sort of prerequisites to starting the program? So do people have to be following a nutritional balancing program for a certain amount of time, or how does that work?
Yeah, so either you need to be a practitioner in a different modality already. So as I said, massage therapist, counselor, chiropractor, herbalist. So there needs to be some qualification in place, or you need to have been on a nutritional balancing program for at least 6 months. And to be eligible to take the course, you need to make sure that your program is current. So you need to be making sure that you're, getting in your hair tests with your own practitioner, and making sure you're on top of that. Yeah.
So people receive, is it PDFs that they fill out, or is it an online system?
It's an online program. So once you've paid for the course and you're accepted into the program, then I would send you all of the materials by email. And as I mentioned, it's work through at your own pace. There's also case studies. So part of this program, how it's unique is there's case studies that people do where I send them, 6 case studies, 4 initial tests, 2 retests, where they need to actually go through and identify the main stress patterns, make program recommendations, and with one of them, pick out one of them, and we actually do a role play where I'm the client, they're the practitioner, and we're going through how to explain the test results and how to relay the program details. And so it really is a course that gets people ready to practice, right? Ready to practice, familiar with the material, confident in what they're looking at, confident in making recommendations, and then confident in explaining the test results in a clear, concise manner.
Awesome. Do you have like a bit of a content that you can think of at the top of your head, how people start and how people work through it, and what tasks they have at the end to finish?
Yes. So at the end, there's the final exam, which is going through the role play with me. So that's at the very end. But at the beginning, we start with actually looking at the hair tissue mineral analysis. Pardon me, how to read that, the main stress patterns, what are the actual priorities that we look at. So the calcium, magnesium, sodium, potassium, what pattern is that showing? What levels, is that at? What is the zinc level? What is the phosphorus? What's the CAMG ratio? What's the NAK ratio? So all of the things that we look at that are priorities, that's what starts first with the instruction. And then the secondary patterns that we would look at that are still important, but not as important as the primary. Then getting into, well, what do we do with this information, right? So we're able to identify that these stress patterns are showing up on the test. Well, what do we do with that? Why is that important? This is not about replacement therapy, right? So this is where science sort of comes in with art. Dr. Paul Eck used to talk about that the program really is, it's science-based, but there is an art to actually making the recommendations to know what to do to support the body as a whole system. And so then the course will get into, well, what do we do from there? What recommendations would we make and why? And as well, with the case studies, we take into consideration, okay, well, we're looking at the client's diet, their lifestyle, what recommendations do we need to make based on that information as well? And that is super important because, yeah, you can make supplement recommendations based on the test, but you're not really getting to the root of some of the issues without looking at the lifestyle, without looking at the diet, without looking at detoxification procedures, healthy thinking. So that's what I mean when I say this is really comprehensive. And I know what we both love about the program is that it is comprehensive. It's not as though we need to bring in a lot of remedies, because this program really, if you follow it, does look after all of that, right?
Yeah.
It may not be a program where it's a quick fix where it looks after everything right away, but if you know that you're addressing the underlying stress patterns, you know that you're actually addressing the root cause of what your issue is. So it follows that, and then it gets into, you know, how to make those recommendations. So that's kind of the flow of it. The test results, looking at things like diet, lifestyle, you know, other possible things that may be interfering with a person's health, putting together a program, delivering the results to clients, and then also, you know, how to support them, how to interpret retests, how to adjust things when you're doing retests, what to look for, and what the joy patterns or celebration patterns are in a retest.
Amazing. And where can people hear about this? Where do they need to go to become a practitioner?
Okay, so they can go to my website, and you can go to susancachay.com, susancachay.com, and there is a practitioner training tab, and you can go there and it'll give you all the specifics about the course and the information, and then you can send me an email. And I always like to set up a time to chat with people to make sure that this is a good fit for them and we are a good fit to work together. And then after that, it's just a matter of getting started.
Awesome. That's wicked. And yeah, just sort of running alongside that, as you guys know, I've been building the hair analysis app over at hairanalysis.report. And Susan's been helping me somewhat with that. I've been asking questions, and we've been coming to various conclusions on how that should be laid out. I know that Susan does actually use the application to generate reports for her clients, and I'm sure some of the practitioners are going to be using it as well. If you just want to like explain to people, does it help? Do you get a lot of information from it? Are you going to be using it, do you think, in the practitioner training course?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really helpful. It does lay out all of the patterns, and it does so in a way, especially your newer version, which I love because it has really lovely graphics. And I've gotten really good feedback from my clients that they really appreciate the amount of depth and detail that your reports go into. And so I found it very helpful in my own practice, and definitely promoting it to the people that are taking the training as well. It's a really helpful tool. And it's a time-saving tool as well, which I really appreciate. You know, as your practice starts to get busier, it also helps the practitioner in that way, in terms of saving time, making sure that you're not missing anything. That's the other thing. There is so much in a hair tissue mineral analysis. And again, in the course, I really try to focus in on what the most important points are. But I love it that your report is very thorough. And, you know, especially when someone is a newer practitioner, some things are easily missed. Well, when you're using the app like that, it's just all there, right? Which is really helpful.
Yeah, I think one of the things, you know, one of the amazing things with the nutritional balancing program, but one of the things that sometimes is an issue, is how big it is. It's absolutely, it's huge in a sense. And I think one of the things that me and Susan are trying to do, sort of individually, but it works as a system, is we're trying to create things that simplify things and brings a lot of information into, you know, a sort of a packaged box. And I think that's definitely what I'm trying to do with the application. And I think Susan's trying to do that with, you know, her new practitioner course.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I wanted to actually keep this video sort of short and sweet, because we're just wanting to tell people about you know, this amazing new opportunity to become a practitioner. So if you are interested, I will leave the link in the description. It's susancachay.com. Did you mention your email address?
It's susan@susancachay.com. So that's easy to remember. And I'll send you the actual link for the particular page that you can put below. So it'll go right to the practitioner training page on my website, and you could include that in the links below.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, yeah, thanks for watching. I'm sure you're all excited. I hope Susan's not inundated by emails, but I'm sure it's probably not a bad thing. Thanks for watching. I'm sure we're going to get Susan on in the future soon when we, you know, we're putting more content out there. So yeah, I'll catch you all soon. Check out the description and see you on the next video.
Thanks, Lewis. Bye.